Any questions from the audience? Anybody have a burning question? The gentleman there in the corner. So.
For a early stage consumer internet company, what are the parameters you would look at for investing?
For an early your question is for an early stage consumer internet company, what are the criteria on which you would base your investment decision? Perhaps you might want.
Sure. Well, what I can comment on is during this week I've visited a number of firms. I've visited NEA Indo-US, have visited Sequoia Capital, and have talked to a number of other people that are actively investing here. And what I would say is there's kind of two basic parameters that people think about when they're investing in this market when you think about venture capitalists. One is, does the product serve a domestic market here, or does it serve some form of international market? And obviously with a lot of the BPO and IT services companies, those have been about harnessing engineering expertise here for international markets. Say the other that people have been thinking about is basic consumer infrastructure versus IT-focused companies. So an example of that would be investing in mid-priced hotel chains, thinking about being around $100 US a night as opposed to being $200 to $300 a night versus IT companies. And for a consumer company within IT specifically, one of the most interesting companies that I heard about was a travel-related portal. And you really have to understand consumer behavior. What do consumers have? Do consumers have PCs at home, or are they actually calling somebody to make their travel arrangements? Since people have cell phones, the most interesting company I had heard about is one that's basically powering travel agents within India, because there are 15,000 travel agents within India. You look at how long it takes even to do online booking for Jet Airways, for Spice, for the different domestic players. And I think really understanding that consumer dynamic for a consumer company and not cookie cuttering consumer companies, that's what doomed, or I shouldn't say doomed, that's the reason that Yahoo Korea and Google haven't done as well in Korea, for example, versus the native search engine, is really understanding what are the needs and usage patterns and socioeconomic conditions and everyday lives of the consumers that you're trying to sell that good or service to.
Next question. Yes, sir.
Vivek from ACS. My question is for
Mark. Sorry, I've already pointed to this gentleman, sir. And when you ask a question, just let us know whether it's directed to any specific panelists or in general.
My question is directly to Ranu Vohra and to the panel. The question is that we are talking about consolidation in consumer internet space, which you mentioned. With over 1,000 portals being once again being born every day, what should be the roadmap for consolidation? I run a consumer internet company, so the question comes with that background. Thank you very much.
I think when I mentioned about consumer internet, I think the mention was about the opportunity and the investment and value creation opportunity. I personally think that it is too early to talk of consolidation in the consumer internet space. I think it is a time, we've seen consolidation cycles, and this is a creation cycle as I see it. So people are trying to create, and it's very disruptive, so today a company with some amount of funding going in can dislodge someone who has a much bigger play. So I think consolidation in this space is still at least 3 to 4 years away. I think it is the time to create value by investing in that opportunity. And I personally think that it is also a test of what management teams will deliver on certain opportunities. These opportunities are not something which are a mystery today. The opportunities are well known to everyone. It's all about which management team is able to capture that and with what kind of business model.
There was a question there in the back. Yes, please.
My question is to Mark. Like the same question what Jayant asked you first, but what would have been your answer if you were sitting in China?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
No, he's saying, what would you have said had you been sitting in China? Are you being diplomatic, I guess, is what he says.
About the bubble in India, I guess, right?
I mean, there are a lot of positives about China. One is that there is a huge domestic market there that can be, that people are being able to go in and use. So, I mean, I think that can't be questioned right now. I think the other thing that China has is a huge workforce. at the end of the day. India does so as well, but the Chinese workforce is immense, and a lot of companies are putting that to work. When you also look at China, I think that there is already more venture capitalists there from the U.S., many of whom have actually been successful and exited a deal in China. There are fewer of those in India. So from a venture capitalist looking at China versus India and looking at it, frankly, from my perception, from a short-term perspective, they would look to China and say, wow, there's been some very good deals here. I'm going to China as opposed to India.
I think there's a question there. Yes?
Do you see a strong angel investment community developing in India? And if not, what alternatives would you suggest to a wannabe entrepreneur?
Is that directed at Mark or Rob or Saurabh?
Yeah, anyone who knows about it, whether there's an angel investment
I think
community
Saurabh, you
developing.
probably are the most qualified to speak on that.
Yeah. I think angel investing is just picking up in India, and the reason for that is if you look at the US, angel investing is largely done not by the Rockefellers and Fords, but really first generation entrepreneurs who have one or two successful cycles of creating a business or wealth and then get into angel investing. In India, that community is still building up. Our whole economy has opened up a little while ago. It's not been more than a couple of decades that first generation entrepreneurs have really come into their own and created wealth. Mostly it's happened in the IT industry. So I think it's just beginning to start. I mean, there's a group I'm involved in that I helped create called the Band of Angels. We now have 50, 60 members. That's happened in 6 to 9 months. So it's very encouraging. I thought it would be 15 or 20 people. It would take about a year or two to get to this size, and it's increasing. So I think angel investing is beginning to happen in a structured way. There always was family and friends type angel investing. But I think as more and more entrepreneurs get successful, make money, do some exits, you will find more angels coming in. So I'm actually quite encouraged.
So out of that $150 billion of wealth created, some of that is being recycled now as angel investing. More questions?
Hello, my question is at Ranu and Julio. Actually, there has been some private equity action in the US and Europe, especially in IT services. ACS, CSC, and Atos Origin were rumored to be, they were in private equity play, but it did not go through in the end. So my question is, why is it being so difficult for, say, a private equity investor to invest in IT services vis-a-vis software?
Thank you.
The private equity sort of focus in IT services really started with SunGard Data Systems in the United States, which was kind of a landmark deal in terms of size and what was actually expected to happen. After that deal got consummated, there was this sort of view that the IT services industry in general offered tremendous amount of opportunity for that type of investing, leverage buyouts, management buyouts, et cetera. And I think part of it was driven by the fact that a lot of these companies do generate cash flow, and they're obviously able to lever up and take care of the debt loads that get put on the companies.